Alright, I want to talk briefly about 12.11, counting rule to calculate probabilities. Again, this is pretty similar to what we've been doing in the previous sections, so I don't anticipate it being that much difficulty. But this time we can continue to use our counting rule of multiplying all the choices to get that number on the bottom. So we'll use our counting rule for when calculating probabilities of that favorable to total. And we can use the counting rule to quickly calculate the number that goes on the bottom. We still need to often use our big chart in order to figure out the favorable side, though, because that is a little bit trickier in order to build. So we'll still need to make our choice chart to do that. For example here, what we can do is if we're looking at, say, choosing the example they give is looking at colored Skittles that pull out. So within a Skittle bag, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors of Skittles. Red, yellow, orange, and purple. And the question is, if she wanted to, actually, there are 5 colors in this bag, and they're also green. And she wants to know what are the odds of if she pulls a Skittle out 2 times in a row, what would be the odds that she would pull a green Skittle both times? Well, in this case, I can look at my favorable to total, which is what I'm going to be building. To total. My total is going to be easy for me to calculate because the odds don't change between the 2 draws, so they'll be the same. And I know that it's about 1 in 5 each time. So I have 5 options for my first choice and 5 options for my second choice, which gives me a total of 25 total outcomes that I can put down on the bottom. As far as my favorable, how many times will green come up both times? The easiest way for me to do this would be to do my chart. Or I can know that the amount of times that green shows up twice is always going to be 1, that the 2 things will exactly happen the same. And I'll show you real quick why that is the case. If I look at red, yellow, orange, purple, and green, and up here, I can kind of skip those because I'm not that interested in those outcomes, and I know that there's going to be no double greens in there. But if I go here again, red, yellow, orange, red, green, I can see that my green choice only shows up once in this whole chart. Now, for some of the homework, you will need to complete this chart because they'll ask a series of questions about this. And we'll be able to see that quickly. The odds that she chooses both greens from this section are pretty rare, unfortunately. It's 1 out of 25 of these total choices that she has. You will continue to do this, and it's going to be pretty similar to the things we've done in the past. I recommend using the counting principle. And one other thing that I'd like to remind you is that no matter how many things happen before a particular event, when you do the event, the probability never changes. For example, 1 roll of a dice. The odds to roll a 1 are still 1 in 6 because it's 1 out of the total 6 options. If I roll a dice 10 times, then roll it 1 more time and look at the odds. Rolling a 1 of 6 is still a 1 of 6. no matter how many times I rolled it previously. Now, the odds of rolling a 1 out of this whole set of 10 rolls is certainly higher than just one roll. But remember that no matter how many times an event occurred in the past, it has no bearing on how many times it will happen in the future, or when I look at one particular event. And some of the questions will refer to that, and I wanted to remind you of that. Go ahead and good luck.